What's up guys, Sio here with another episode of Mega Maker. In the last one I did a bunch of random levels from Discord, and honestly I'm just gonna probably keep doing that for a while because it seems like the level quality's been pretty strong overall. First up in this episode we have Grade Grass 1 by HyperTBoss. I don't really know anything about any of these levels. Like, I'm literally going into this 100% blind, and I'm still accepting level requests as I'm doing the episode, just because I kind of want to get going. I wanted to record sooner, but... Oh, my controller's not even plugged in. Haha. Now the real question is can I plug in my controller before I die? Yes, I can. Okay, so now I'm actually ready to check out this level. I like the music. I like the theme. That life seems a little unnecessary, and I will not be going for it. I am kind of surprised how many people use these green blocks. I'm not really the biggest fan of there being a block right here, but not right here. That makes that jump a little inconsistent, in my opinion. I'm sure it was accidental, but that's kind of one of those small things that ends up actually making kind of a difference on that jump, especially since there's spikes there. I always forget to even check. Can I charge? I don't even need this weapon energy, but now this is just a matter of pride. Good. So necessary. So this has been a fun level so far. I like the theme. I like it's an interesting section. I'm grateful there was a checkpoint right there because I died pretty suddenly. So I don't really know if I've seen someone use these platforms quite like this before. Okay, so I should just be able to jump. Okay. I wonder if I can skip a little bit of this by just jumping onto that platform initially. So, not really the biggest fan of this thing carrying me down and then just instantly dying. I feel like the same thing could have been accomplished here, but with, like, the tiles scooted over one more, so you didn't just die kind of for no reason. It's not really the end of the world because there's a checkpoint literally right there, but it would save a little bit of death. I'm also not really a big fan of clipping through that or whatever. I didn't know until last episode that those blocks were actually solid, so I'm assuming that's kind of what happened there, where he just wasn't expecting you to fall down right there. But I am a little confused because I thought that's what I was supposed to do for this jump. I guess I'll just be a little bit more over to the side. So I like the idea of this, but it seems like there was a very specific path intended for this, and it's not like super intuitive. Like, I have to stand on like the right side of this platform and the right side of this platform to be able to clear that. And now I think I'm dead. Oh, no. Cool. I was able to save it. Okay. So I like the idea of this level a lot. It's interesting to kind of have a level like 100% based around these platforms or whatever, because I've seen them used a little rudely before, but this is the first time I've seen them used like exclusively as platforms. I do think that that block should have been moved so I don't fall like that and die for kind of no reason. Really not a fan of that, by the way. Sorry. I try to be pretty positive overall in my level reviews, I would say. And while I liked the theme of this, I do feel like this part probably should have been tested with a couple more positions just to make sure that Mega Man like doesn't clip onto that block right there or clip through this corner right here. Since that seems like it's a pretty consistent clip into that corner, actually. And a pretty consistent clip into that. I'm beginning to think that this level was potentially only like play tested like to make sure that it was actually possible to beat it or whatever. And this jump is actually going to be just ludicrous because it's kind of setting up to look like that. Or it's just that, I guess. And it wasn't as hard as I was making it out to be. I realized that I could just not use that platform and it ended up being okay. This should have not been an automatic screen transition right here, I think, to prevent that from breaking. I didn't really know that for a while into my level, so that's more of just like a little helpful tip kind of thing. Good spot for a checkpoint. I actually have a similar spot of my level right after a checkpoint with these guys, which is kind of funny. Oh, that's misleading. I thought I was supposed to go up there, but it looks like I'm going down here instead. Okay. Yeah, so outside of that platform part not really like working quite as fluidly as I would have liked, this level's actually been pretty fun so far. That was a little glitchy, but I don't really I don't blame the level creator for that one. I just blame the platforms for glitching out that time. I will say that that's a little bit trolly of a death, but at least it's like the screen after a checkpoint, so it's not really that bad. And it does seem like you're continuing the theme of these platforms rising up, so it's at least like a fair introduction to the part you're about to play. I don't have a problem with things being a little bit trolly like that sometimes, if it means that you're actually just designing a level around it, and it seems like this part is going to be based around that, which is cool. I gotta kind of go a little bit faster than I have been and probably not land on both of them though, because it does seem like landing on both has been messing it up a bit. Slides. Damage boost probably would have been smart there. So jump and then slide. I'll just damage boost just to make sure. Hopefully there's not spikes up here. There is, but I get a checkpoint first, which I'm okay with. No, the slowest ride. I'm just gonna not kill myself on those spikes apparently, but on the left I can. Oh no, got stuck on left. What does that mean? Oh, crash. Okay, so I guess I'll just put this crash report in here. I'll be right back, I guess. I'm a little annoyed that I have to do that platform part again, but at least it's not as hard as I made it out to be, so be right back. Alright, I'm back up here again. It didn't actually take as... God, can this guy just stop this, please? Because I've fallen down here a couple of times now. I'm just gonna go to the left. Okay. I forgot I can fire this from down here. Okay, so while I didn't mind the spring part, one thing that I did kind of talk about in one of my level videos is kind of keeping a consistent theme with enemies. And I feel like this level's kind of starting to just kind of throw whatever enemies they feel like at you. I should have probably just damage boosted. I don't know why I just landed on the spike instead. So now I have to deal with this stupid jump, because every other time I did that I timed it poorly and ended up falling right back down the pit. So this is made a lot easier with Metal Blade, even with that crystal guy deflecting a lot of shots. Overall, I know I've kind of criticized this level a fair bit, but it actually has been a pretty fun level, I'd say. Hit me, goddammit. Okay. Like, all I was trying to do is backward damage boost. So overall, this level's been really fun. This screen's a little laggy. I was just about to say how I'd liked how this level wasn't laggy, at least. But overall, it's been fun. Okay. I should just die. I have not enough health for this at all. Apparently I had to make that nice and interesting and just wait hella long on that last hit. So I like Napalm Man as a boss because it's a fun pattern. Overall, that was a fun level. I think it probably could have stood to be play tested slightly more because there was some stuff that was kind of janky in my opinion. Namely those moving platforms that like passed by that spike and like into the wall kinda. That probably should have just been moved over like a full tile to just avoid all of that altogether. But overall, it was a fun level. I really liked playing it, and thank you for submitting it. Be right back with the next one. Okay, so next up we have I Can't Believe It's Not Pharaoh Man. JoeDolca has been on episode 4, I believe. But I really liked his level then, so I wanted to give him another level, especially since he was around when I was asking. Top Man's another fun boss. I at least got a little bit more practice with it the past couple times. Digging the level choice. Kind of interesting that he gave us Pharaoh shot as the item of choice for this level, because I don't know if I've ever really even used Pharaoh shot before. Oh, I can charge it. That's cool. can I respawn that? Because I would like to just redo this room. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and redo all of this. Okay, third time's the charm with this room, I guess. I wanted that health too. I really like the theme of this level. It kind of just seems like it takes a lot of like Pharaoh Man stuff, but I like that it's honestly, I just really like a level that's like kind of based around like sort of Mega Buster, but charge like Pharaoh shot instead. Oops. Guess I could have seen that coming. I don't really have like a ton to comment on yet, because I guess I just haven't really gotten very far. Okay, so jump, 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 jump. Also, something about gradual level design really quick that I want to point out. Joe did a good job of setting up this room by basically having the first jump over there be learning this tight jump without spikes on the wall, and then the second jump was learning spikes on the wall, and then the third jump here is learning how to jump with spikes on the wall and enemies that are actually like directly in the way of your jump. I thought I cleared that personally, but that's okay. But I like highlighting good aspects of level design, because I feel like you can't really criticize bad level design without giving good level design its props as well. And something that I've noticed about Joe's levels is that he gives a lot of good level design, so I like giving the shoutouts when the shoutouts are due. But yeah, like I was saying, you get to practice this jump without spikes and without having to really worry about it too much, so you get to learn the platform physics and stuff before doing it on this one, where you can actually die. It's a thing that Mega Man and a lot of like classic platformers end up doing a lot, because obviously it's pretty helpful. Am I just supposed to clear this jump, or is there supposed to be a platform at the bottom? Yeah. Oh, I'm dumb. I forgot I got kick. And then suddenly charge kick section, which I'm okay with, I guess. That one level got me really good at kicking, I think. Wasn't really expecting to have disappearing blocks like that, but that's okay. It seems like he didn't really use a lot of them based on the fact that my computer can actually handle it. So I'm okay with that. They're a pretty fast timer though. I didn't know that you could really adjust the timers for these. One jump, kick over. So do I need to jump? Okay. Well, that's cool. I didn't actually know if that'd work or not. Let's check this out and see if there's anything over here. Woo! Nope. Nope. It's probably for an M tank or something. I guess I should check it out. It just looked intimidating on first fall, and I didn't want to fall into a screen that I wasn't ready for, but I guess I can take this on. Can I kill both of you? Yes! So I like that this level isn't just like jump kick through platforms. Like obviously it kind of was for a second, but it seems like it's consistent enough with other stuff that I don't even mind challenging. Oh. am I screwed for this? I wasn't really expecting lasers out of nowhere. So I'm gonna need to charge kick through here to... I'm gonna basically just survive 9 seconds with these guys. Can I glitch you out again? Since apparently the game does not like it when you stand underneath one of those guys directly. I'll just kick through you a couple times. Can I cheat this section out a little bit? I think I can. So obviously you're supposed to like break all 3 of those, but I'm gonna go ahead and cheat this out because I can. And just jump up here, and then make that even easier. Haha! Is that the way I was supposed to go? Okay. Oh, directly into Top Man. Okay. Oh. Can I disrupt his top pattern like that? Probably. So this fight's slightly laggy, probably because of all these blocks. I want to see if I can actually disrupt this a little bit more. It might make this even easier if I can just keep him in the middle. Haha, suck it, Top Man. I'm probably gonna die, but that's okay. Is this kind of like a Bowser fight where I could just kill him by sending him down to the ground also? I guess it doesn't really matter. I should probably just... Yeah, this seems easy enough. I'll just live with this. Uh-oh. Yeah. No! That's not good, because now I'm very much out of kicks. So, alternate strategy time. Is this just gonna kill you then? Cool. Okay, so that was kind of a cool Super Mario Bros. 3-esque boss, I guess I'd say. I'm not sure if that was intended, because I'm not sure if it was intended for, like, Mega Man to die that way, but not Top Man. Either way, really cool level. I feel like there were a couple of branching paths that I could have taken, and I took one that was pretty tough. But still fair. Top Man was interesting, because I feel like I cheesed him out a little bit on the first life, and then cheesed him out a hell of a lot more on the second one. But that was still fun. So I will grab the next one. Alright, so next up we have Spirit Realm Castle by Mykel Linden. Mykel didn't actually like specifically request me to play his level, but he linked his levels in the level discussion thing, and I saw that this one had a pretty high score, honestly. Seeing anything even like above 5, honestly, is pretty impressive in this game, especially if you're not like one of the big YouTubers or whatever for it. So I'm definitely going to check this level out, because 7 of 17 is a pretty high ratio of people playing it to liking it. I am not so good at Nightman, but we'll hope that we got a good weapon. Huh. I have not heard this song before, so sorry, I was just kind of soaking that in. Just Mega Buster? Okay. That means I'm gonna very much suck against Nightman, because the only time I'm good against him at all is without Buster. So this will be a fun one. I wonder what track this is, because I've not heard this one used in any other level. Not that I have a problem with that at all, because I like when people are unique with their music and stuff. I'm not really sure I understood that screen transition, but I guess I'm okay with it, because now we're in the section. I assume I'm just supposed to ride this guy, and not get hit by the pickaxes, but I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do to stop that, beyond just sit here. Is this just a sit in here level? We'll see. No, it's not a sit in here level. I gotta at least kill these guys. Or at least face backwards. Okay, so the guys on the bottom are at least a threat, so I gotta be careful because they can hit me. It looks like the pickaxes are basically a non-factor as long as I'm actually on the platform. It's not until I start going off track that things start messing up a bit more, I guess. But okay. I do really like how this guy has mixed themes together so far, like using the crystally stuff and the red bricks with green platforms and stuff. I can see the theme tying together a little bit better now that I've played the level for a bit longer, and it's a really unique one, so sorry for criticizing that earlier. Oh. Okay. I don't think that this screen should have been automatic scrolling. I think that should have been like, hope the player falls down here and finds it on accident. That honestly could have just been an accidental level design thing, because I've done that with once or twice in my levels, especially since this ground's kind of cut off right there. General level advice, I guess, by the way, since I'm here and can show it off. If you do playtest your level and you see that there's just like a part where you can stand, where you can see stuff that's technically outside of the play area, it's still generally a good idea to put ground there, just so it looks more complete, I guess. I can forgive that because it's a pretty specific thing, but it also kind of happened down there in the bottom right corner, so just for tweaking the graphics of your level a little bit for the future, I guess. But overall, this has been a fun level. I like the theme. It's been on the easier side, but again, I don't really have a problem with the level being a little bit easier. Like, not every level should be a Kaizo level in this. I will say that these doors should actually be one tile over, so basically one door or one tile is on the end of one screen, and then the other half of the door is starting the next screen, basically. And so you have like basically one load up and then one load down, instead of having both load up on one side and then 0 down on the other side. I hope that made sense. I noticed my commentary gets a little rambly sometimes when I'm playing. I also don't know if this is a screen that should have been automatic scrolling like this. Okay, I'm not really sure I understood that part that well, I guess. It seemed like it would have been slightly harder if there were like enemies or something. As soon as I say though, there's like enemy row right here, I guess. This is kind of an interesting arrangement, though. I've never really seen that skull guy with the swinging dude before, but it makes it so he's actually like pretty immune most of the time. I am very willing to forgive some of these like kind of minor graphical things, just because those are things that you don't really notice most of the time on your first level. But overall, I've been really digging this level's theme. It felt a little health forgiving, I guess is the easiest way to put it. There were a decent amount of enemies, but I still feel like I had more than enough health to be able to get through like every single encounter with it. Okay. Well, I've definitely never seen this layout for this guy before, so I am very much okay with this. My main problem when fighting Nightman is when people don't give you an escape route, because you very much need one against this guy. You just need to be able to kind of bust out of here when he's like running towards you or something. He ends up actually being kind of weak to Mega Buster in this fight, it looks like, which is nice. So that fight actually wasn't nearly as hard as some other Nightmans that I've had. But overall, it was a pretty good, easy level, I'd say. Again, don't have a problem with easier levels. The only thing I really criticized, I guess, was the couple of screens where there was a couple extra tiles that probably should have been put down just for graphical continuity, I guess. But overall, that was a really good level. I really liked throwing that one in there. So let me check Discord really quick for the next one. Alright, so next up we have Find Us a Shrubbery by GreenCastle. I'm going to kind of slightly spoil things, and as you'll see with this being sped up, this is actually post-commentated. This is a level that ended up taking me about 2.5 hours, I'll say, to actually do correctly. I thought at first that it was just a really open-ended level where you could kind of just go wherever you wanted to, and it kind of all funneled you back to the end, and was kind of like praising this level for having like really good open-endedness to it. As you saw me bounce onto that screen and saw that weakness cube with the snake shot, I'm actually going to have to go around this big maze and break a couple of weakness cubes before I can fall down to that teleporter on that screen. It ends up being a pretty big maze, and even after like 2 hours of me like navigating around this maze, I still ended up getting lost. So even though the audio obviously doesn't really match up, I kind of just wanted to use the game audio of me playing through this just to have background music for the background that was actually in the level. This jump right here is kind of bullshit the way I set it up, but it's also not the way that you were supposed to set it up. You end up having to jump both onto the upper part and lower part of the room off to the left of this. But first you basically have to break that weakness cube, and because you can't just go back to the left, you end up having to go all the way around. On your way around, I learned you're supposed to basically just go through here, go over to the left, break a couple of weakness cubes, and like basically take the long way around. I unfortunately wasn't able to figure this out until like a couple of hours into the level, so I ended up kind of trashing like the first like 2 hours of me playing this level, which I don't normally do, but honestly it wasn't really very good commentary. I wasn't very happy with it. I was kind of just silent a lot of the time, or not very happy when I was dogging, so I wanted to kind of give myself some time to calm down and view this level again kind of with a fresh set of eyes, I guess. One thing I will say that I can appreciate now that I kind of know what the level is like, and I know what I was getting myself into, there's a lot of like really distinct themes. Like you can tell that there's like the sky segment, there's this futuristic segment, there's the underground segment, there's the ice segment, and each one kind of has like their unique thing that you're supposed to do, so you can kind of keep track. It probably would have been easier to do this level if I would have had a pen and a piece of paper with me, to be honest. just so I could have like made a checklist of the stuff I was supposed to do before going to the portal. Sorry. Constructive criticism, though, it wasn't very clear at all what you were supposed to do for the first like hour and a half of me playing this level. And I will just say that not that many people are going to be as patient with their level. I ended up having fun with this level once I knew what to do. And once I came into this with a fresh weapon energy, because weapon energy does actually get pretty low. It was a good challenging level. I do kind of wish there would have been a way to actually use the checkpoints. I don't know if you've noticed, but I haven't really, like even after 2 hours in this level, I'm still trying to figure out where to go for certain weakness cubes and stuff. I didn't even learn that the weakness cubes were going to be like a factor in the end game teleportation. And I guess I haven't actually explained that, but for the first like 20 minutes or so of me playing this level, I just kind of wandered around from screen to screen trying to get to the top right, because I guess that's kind of just where I assumed I was supposed to go. Turns out the top right is nothing really, but a couple screens down from there you can kind of access the bottom of the forest area, and the forest area basically has a teleporter at the very top, and you need the teleporter to be able to actually go through the thing. By the way, shoutouts to important health drops. So like a couple of screens down from here actually is the forest room that you're basically trying to get into through the teleporter. Also, one thing that kind of sucks is even though this checkpoint's right there, I can't really take it because it doesn't really do anything, like, other than, like, mark where I'm at in a level specifically. The checkpoint, like, it doesn't save the progress because weakness cubes just respawn whenever you die. So you end up having to do the entire level in one go, which, I'm not gonna lie, is kind of excessively demanding. Especially since none of these rooms are like particularly difficult on their own. Although this slide I'm not really a big fan of. It's pretty precise to be able to fit in there. I was never really able to consistently jump off of the right of these moving platforms. I saw a couple of other people do that when I was playing the level, and it made it look easier, but for me, I was never really able to pull it off, so I ended up just kind of having to do this like bullshit slide in between here. And basically just like hanging out in there and waiting for the guy to raise up. I not really sure how to fix that, because that ended up being kind of like a check to make sure that you actually did everything right. I got blocked by it once, which I was not very happy about and kind of yelled about in my original commentary. But basically, like, if you go through the teleporter puzzle without doing all of these weakness cubes, you end up not being able to actually go all the way to the end. So you have to basically just break your way out, go access the screen from the correct way, break the weakness cube, and then go back through. So now I'm going to actually try to go through the room with the triple platforms above me the correct way, which is kind of a pretty precise jump actually, especially with the fact that both the left and right guys actually fire. You end up having to basically either loop around like this or wait for this red guy to go up at a different timing cycle. So the red guy basically just goes a little bit longer, and then you end up trying to jump across right there. You end up having to basically jump in between both of the green guy's shots as well. So it ends up being pretty ridiculous, especially since that's only a 2-gap window. In my opinion, that jump definitely should have been like a 3 or a 4 gap window, because this jump doesn't need to be precise at all, much less as precise as it is. I ended up finding out after the level that you're apparently able to just run right off of the platform of the green guy, but I could swear I tried that and it didn't work. So I don't know if it's consistent, or I don't know if you need to have a certain weapon attached, or I don't know if you need to like slide at a certain time, but it wasn't really working for me. So I ended up having to find this like super precise timing with these platforms and stuff. And I have a backup where you can just like loop around right there, but it ends up being kind of tougher than my setup. But basically, my original setup for this is to basically just let these platforms cycle twice, so the red and green on the left are basically synced until right then, and then you jump, and then you jump right there, and you end up making it right there. That timing ends up actually being more consistent. By the way, shout outs to the bunny that has way too much health and never seems to drop health. You're supposed to access this room from a different way, but I had found that you can just kind of shoot it from there. I did not feel bad about choosing this level, if I'm being perfectly honest, because I spent like over 2 hours in this level. But I wanted to record this with like more positive commentary, because my first, and by the way, I almost fuck up here, and oh, I do fuck up here. I wanted to savor that a little bit, but alright, so live editing. I also want to show this jump because you can make it by just jumping around to the left of that guy. It's still a pretty tight jump in my opinion. I still would have made that 3, and shout out to the bunny that finally dropped health. But yeah, I am a fan of how intricate this level is, because there's definitely a lot of platforms that you have to like, or screens that you have to slide on from one way but not another way, and there's a lot of like really intricate slides. So I can definitely appreciate how much like testing went into this level in terms of actually doing it to be able to build stuff so the screens work correctly. By the way, shoutouts to the happiest I've probably ever been to get a checkpoint in Mega Maker. So this boss, I went ahead and edited this just to the cycle when I actually beat the boss, because this boss is kind of unique. I actually like this boss, honestly, because you don't really see a plant man pattern with this pattern. But basically, this plant man normally like always stays up on the platforms once you get him into this cycle. And it's kind of cool kind of having plant man above you for this fight. I end up basically getting him into this pattern pretty much the entire fight, where I just lure him over here, jump over here, drop down as he fires off the plant shot, and then just jump back up through those guys. The fact that the green guys shoot is actually kind of annoying. You're gonna see towards the end of the fight, they end up actually doing a little bit more damage than I expect, and I end up cutting it a lot closer than I probably should. But to be honest, I'm actually a fan of this boss arena. It's pretty simple, all things considered. Given the rest of the level and how intricate it is, I actually kind of like that it's just a simple boss arena. I like that it's springs and not spikes. Thank you for that. I'd heard at some point during development it might have been spikes, and I think that was just might have been a little too much. Or not, and maybe I just heard wrong. But overall, I gotta say, I really liked the idea for this level once I figured out what to do. It was a creative room, or series of rooms, I guess. And I liked the idea of actually kind of having to have a maze where you unlock certain parts of it before going all the way through. I will say, and I already said to GreenCastle in Discord, that it's far too demanding to expect the player to figure that out and do it in one life. Like, I ended up taking a couple of intentional resets just because I was like, I'm only 2 weakness cubes in and I'm already like half dead. I'm not going to be able to make it through the other like 50 screens I have to navigate through. That said, I'm not really sure if there's anything you could have done to like fix that part of it, because you kind of had to just break all 4 in one go. But overall, I thought it was interesting. I do like the idea of using weakness cubes, like teleporter puzzle maze thing. Also, by the way, I fall onto the green platform here and I get shot by the other green guy and get down to 2 health, so I have to remember to just jump up here so I don't die. After all the trolling that this level did me, I wouldn't have really been surprised. But overall, I actually really liked this level. I'm gonna go ahead and edit in this part of the level now, but basically this is the run that ended up getting me frustrated enough that I didn't want to record anymore. This level got me pretty mad, actually, as you're about to see, but I'm gonna go ahead and end the video formally here. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys want any of your levels featured, drop a like and subscribe and stuff like that. I would appreciate it. Thank you, and have a good one. Bye. I don't really know what I did. I thought we were a cool game. Why, like, seriously, why have I not gotten a single health drop? I'm just gonna try to keep going, I guess. because clearly I'm not getting fucking health drops at all. I am scared shitless of this jump now, because I literally cannot do anything. Nope. Bail. So shots are not gonna line up. And that would have killed me. I'm like way more nervous for this part than I should be, because I got screwed out of every single enemy drop. Okay. Please, for the love of God. Shit, I forgot there's bunnies here. That really didn't give a big drop either. Okay. Well, I guess I will just fucking hope that this is all that I need. I'm not gonna lie, this is the sweatiest my palms have been in a while, because I really, really, really do not want to do all of this over again. I'm gonna take my sweet ass time. Where are you shooting? Okay, right onto the ladder. That I would have... Oh, whew! Whew, that dodge actually saved me. So now I should be able to fall down here. This should be the one that I'm at least able to save from here, I think. Please. Okay, thank fuck. So that means I can slide here and go into the teleporter then. And this should be the one in the forest. Yes. Okay. So now I just have to get past this bullshit. I hate this fire enemy so much. Not what I need, not what I need! I wandered around for 20 minutes before I figured out remotely where to go. Then spent about another 20 minutes trying to figure out how to get that last jump. And then figured out that I had to break all of the platforms, because I didn't realize that until I was done and had to bail on it. So in that sense, that very much could have been improved on from the beginning. Yeah, sorry dude. I normally try to finish levels, but I just frankly do not have time to do all of this again. I guess I can just pause it and stuff and do it off screen, but my girlfriend's gonna be home any minute, so the rest of this level's probably just either gonna be recorded without commentary, or it's just gonna be recorded with commentary later, I guess.